Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Viva Cafe con Leche. I'm the badass Buddha, Lori Monaco, coming to you from hot and humid Eastern Tennessee, where it's a little overcast today, and I'm sure we won't get any rain, but it'll stay nice and hot. So good morning to Gail and the Empowering Process podcast on YouTube. Good morning to Kathy Reese on Facebook, and welcome, and thanks for being here.
Good morning. Buenos días, mi gente, aquí con la Margarita, your gladiator guru. Coming live from the exciting Shelton, Connecticut. 75. I don't know how high. It was hot yesterday during the afternoon. But you know what? Embrace it. Embrace it. Go out there and be like, woo. And that's it. It's all we have. So let's just make the best of it. Stay inside.
Yes, I'm not,
You have to be outside.
Yeah, I was working outside yesterday. So I was, I look at it this way that I don't like sweating when I have somewhere to go. And I don't like sweating, but I don't hate sweating because I think sweating is very therapeutic. I think it's
Very
a detoxifier. You get rid of a lot of stuff. And so I've been sweating like crazy because I've been working outside in the yard. And I'm just looking at it like it's just one big, cleanse. Plus, because it's so hot and I've been so busy, I haven't felt like eating all that much, and I've been physically working. So usually this is where I automatically lose weight, and I could afford to because I had gained some back. So to me, it's as long as I can get in the shower when all is said and done. If I couldn't, that'd be the problem.
But yeah, so here we are. It's beautiful. Either way you look at it, whether it's always going to be too cold, too hot, not spring enough, too fall, too soon. So you know what? It's true. When you sweat, you feel better. I think at the end of the day, you feel better. And if you're not going nowhere, then you know what? Go ahead, have it. Drench through.
The worst is when you shower because you have somewhere to go, and then you go outside to go do something. Or let's say your house is a little on the hot side, and you're doing a couple things, and you're not even dressed in what you're getting ready into getting dressed, but you start sweating again after the shower. That's the frustrating part when that happens, because you're like, damn, do I get back into the shower? Do I not get back into the shower? I just did my hair. I'm sweating. Anyway. But being bold means you're going to sweat sometimes. You've got to get out there. You've got to work hard. I laugh sometimes with business coaches when they talk about the goal is to not work hard, and I get what they're saying. It's working harder, not smarter. I've worked harder. It's working smarter, not harder. I said it the other way around. I've worked harder, not smarter for most of my life, so I get that. But I like to teach people that, hard work is hard work, and it's a great reward when you put in work, like when you do the work, when you love what you're doing, it doesn't feel like hard work. So I guess that's what it means. And the thing is that when you balance it with, hey, if I'm working hard today, then I'm going to make sure that I play hard today too. Or if let's say today's the day that I just work my ass off, then tomorrow I'm going to play hard. And so I'm not afraid of that word. Yeah, a lot of the younger generation is very, very uncomfortable with working too hard. They have no concept of it. We all grew up in a generation where we did, we did work hard. We worked long hours. We started working when we were 14, usually. And we never thought twice about it. Like I never thought twice about, I've always worked, and I don't like when I don't work, like one time I lost my job because they laid people off, and I was like, I don't know what to do with myself, but that's part of being bold. It's saying, you know what, I am going to work my ass off in what I am doing so that I can achieve these fantastic goals that I put on my vision board or set forth or whatever it is that you do.
Yes, you have. It's you know what? It's a dedication to yourself. It's a commitment to yourself. It's a promise ring. It's all of the above. But let's do the intention and then set off, because this is a wonderful conversation.
Fantastic. All right. Well, first off, good morning, Nancy Green. Good morning, my beautiful sister. Leanne is in the house.
Leanne.
All right. So yes, let's set the intention. Here on Viva, we want you to be purposeful in your day. We want you to be intentional. Set it. Do whatever it is. Set it for whatever you want it to be, and then follow through with it. Say, I'm going to do this, or I'm going to be this, and see it through.
And see it through with gratitude. See it through that if something didn't go the way you planned, then it wasn't meant for you to walk that plan. If something was delayed, it's not a no from your universe or God. It's not yet. So be grateful in the intentions that you set, but in the redirections that's placed before you. Because everything we decide we're gonna do is not everything that needs to be done. So the redirection is gonna come. Be grateful for the insight, for that gift of insight, for following your gut, for saying, hold on, this doesn't feel right. Let me just wait, or let me go that way. So when you set your intentions, do it with gratitude, because it is within that gratitude that you will be led exactly where you need to be.
Yep, exactly. Good morning, Karen Sammer. We love when Karen comes on. We know you can't always make it, Karen, but we're very happy when you do come on. Fabulous, fabulous lady. Tiffany Bryan just popped on. Tiffany, I got to tell you, honey, you are just absolutely fabulous. And I really hope that you could make it to the dance party down here that we're hosting in Tennessee, because I just want to be able to like dance and hang out with your beautiful style. So see if you can make it happen. See if you could get here some way, somehow for that October dance party. Good morning, Catherine Marie. I can't speak this morning. Good morning to everybody. So good. Share. Let's put that banner up. We're going to do our mantra. And now that you're all on, we want you to say it loud and say it proud. So here we go. I am a disruptor.
I am a disruptor.
I am unapologetically courageous.
I am unapologetically courageous.
I am spiritually grounded.
I am spiritually grounded. Humana.
I am magically orgasmic.
Ole.
And I keep it real.
All day, no doubt. Stop faking it till you make it. Just be what you know you can be.
Good morning, Bridget Brown.
Bridget!
I am like I'm having trouble speaking this morning. Oh my goodness. All right, so we are talking about being bold. This is the Being Bold month. I'm not spelling correctly either because I refused to put my glasses on this morning. And today's conversation is firm, perky, and tight. Oh my. And let's define this for a moment, okay? So it's be bold to love your body as is. Elasticity versus gravity. LOL. Okay, it's about firm, perky, and tight. Yes, you lose that firm and perkiness as we age. Good morning, Janine. But we're talking about our spirit. We're talking about ourselves. I've said this before. We've talked about this. My biological age is 54. My mental age, when I'm thinking about myself, I actually view myself anywhere between the age of like 40 and 43. It's very weird. Where I don't feel like I'm 54, and with that comes with that youthfulness still, you're still a little tighter. It's have the elasticity. 54, not so much, and I don't see myself as that way. Like I don't see myself as Lucy and all that stuff. I see myself as young and strong and whatever. And it's very weird because sometimes I'll catch a glimpse of myself in the mirror and I'll be like, oh yeah, you're not quite, you're not quite. But it's about how you feel about yourself. It's what's your spirit age? What's your soul's age? Like, what do you see yourself? Now, it's a trick question because sometimes your soul could be so old, like that lifetime of experiences, but your spirit could be younger. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like we talk about this all the time. Gladiator and I talk about her granddaughter, Savannah, who's 4. And this little kid is like, she's in her 70s, the way her wisdom is. Like she's definitely an old soul.
Mm-hmm.
So here's this youthful, beautiful little baby girl. And then she has this older soul. And so both of them can coexist within you. And but if you feel old, if you feel, you look in the mirror and you go, I'm old and I feel old and I'm feeling, this is where we have to step up and be bold and be firm, perky, and tight in our mind's eye, like in our spirit and our soul, and say, no, listen, this is life, this is wisdom, this is what's been created over the years from all the experiences that I've had, and what can I take with me stepping forward?
Exactly. Savannah, when I always say you go from understanding to having knowledge to having wisdom to being a motherfucking sage. And that is like above it. And that's lessons you learn through life. You learn, you understanding comprehension, absorbing yourself in whatever it is you're doing so that you can fully feel all the effects of it. You know, people don't want to feel that. People are not willing to be discomforted. So when you engage in discovering yourself, it's going to be uncomfortable, it's going to be painful. And trust me, those so-called friends, even family members, will drop off while you're going through this because they don't want to be uncomfortable. They don't want to have to lend a hand to you while you're sitting in your mess. And that's perfectly fine because, like the butterfly, you must come out the cocoon on your own. And to be this old soul, as Lori was talking about, I think it's just some, like, I like what Gail wrote. Her soul has always been the same age.
Yes.
Mine, I don't know if it has
No,
different.
Gail says it has no age. Gail says her soul has no age.
So I don't know if my soul has personalities like me, but it goes through all these changes because, as you said, I'm going to be 56 this year, and I don't feel it. I only see it like, not even when I talk about my grandkids. I see it more when I run into somebody and I'm like, isn't that so and so's son? How the fuck did he grow up so quick? You know, and it's like, oh my God, hi, how you doing? And that's when I feel like my age. But other than that, I never feel my age. I never say, oh, my body aches because I'm getting up there. No, age, first of all, has nothing to do with body aches. It's about your endurance and what you want to do with your body.
And it's about how much did you take care of yourself.
Yeah. So when I look, when I catch a reflection of me somewhere at this show is it has a lot to do with everything we go through as women. There's been a lot of new, what nouveau riche, firm bodies walking around here, but it's like on the movie with Bruce Willis, what Sixth Sense, when he's like, I see dead people, they just don't know they're dead. Well, that's where you look around and you say they're not real. They're not real. But if you look at what's going on in society today, a lot of us feel, or maybe like, I would never do that. But then we look at ourselves and they're not as perky as they used to be. You know, they're not, the ass is not firm, the tummy is not flat. And then you know, the reality of what's going on in today's world is you can pay for that. But for us veterans that know that we can do something about it, like the badass Buddha was talking about working out and on her property and doing with the animals and all this kind of stuff. She's building muscle again. When we get older, it takes longer. People say, you know, I think the only muscle you can't build is the one hanging at the bottom of your stomach. But I think we can feel, yes, Leanne, we can feel perky and tight and, oh my, I look so good at going to be 56 because I feel that, because I believe that, because if I don't, then who will? So I think badass is good. You read it already? What the whole thing is with the firm, perky, and tight?
Well, yeah, I wrote, the little blurb you wrote. Yep. So it was just a short one. So let's indulge on that. Let's really talk about, this is about being bold this month. The month of July is taking what you decided that you want and that maybe either you weren't getting or it's going on the slower side. It's taking that and boldly going where no woman has gone before. We'll throw a little Star Trek in there. But it's about being bold. It's about, so June was take action. Like, just do it already. And sometimes when we do it, sometimes we go fast, sometimes we go slow. And there's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes things do take time. Sometimes you can't go fast to do certain things. But it's a fine line between going slow because that's a necessity of what you're working on versus going slow because you are either self-sabotaging or you're not sure of yourself or whatever. So now we want you to step further. So whatever you were working on in June, we want you to go boldly. We want you to say, okay, I was going too slow. Let me speed it up a little. I was only doing one thing. Let me do 5 things. Be bold. Wear bold clothes. Put on an outfit that you've never really put on before. Fix your hair in a different way. Get, just, and it doesn't have to be that type of situation. It's put yourself into a situation where you've never been before. You could be dressed, normally dressed, but put yourself into a situation you've never been before. Do something that's bold that can show you that you are resilient, that you can do this, and that you are unstoppable. So it's like we want you to strut around like you are 20, 25 years old and firm and perky. We want you to walk around like that. We want you to show your stuff off because what they're seeing is not just the physical. They're seeing what is within you. Yeah, absolutely. People will always see the physical first. But and we all know this to be true. How many times over the years, even when we were in our 20s, our 30s, our 40s, how many times did we see a woman who's very pretty, but you could see she has no confidence. She kind of slouches. She's dresses down. She doesn't want to be seen. Versus someone who's not really all that pretty, but they dress really, like not fancy. They dress to show themselves off, like who they are. And they have this bold personality. They get the attention. And granted, sometimes you can get the wrong attention, but we're older now. We know the attention that we want to get. So we want to get out there and we want to, if you want to be successful, then you become perky and firm and tight in that genre. Okay, don't throw something on that you're not comfortable with. Like I know at this point in my life what's my style. When I'm working around here, I'm usually just in a tank top and shorts, and because it's hot and it's just I've got a lot to do. Plus, I like getting a little bit of sun. But when I'm working, in my office, I have my T-shirt with my business name on it. When I'm out networking, sometimes I wear that, but sometimes I don't. Sometimes I wear something that's just like represents me. And that's what I want people to see, because I am bold. I'm walking in my truth, and I am firm, perky, and tight in that. And that's the whole point, is for you to take this as one more kick, one more push, one more get out there and strut your stuff.
Listen, in life, we go through our second guesses about who we are. You are a woman made perfect for who you are. There's places we got to work at. When I say firm, let me tell you, I love dressing my girls in pearls and taking the best picture. The other day, I put a skirt on that comes up high, and my things just flapped over. And I said, oh my God, I can't dress these girls in pearls no more. And that really hit me, right? And then I said, oh, it has to be because I have the high skirt. And my daughter-in-law started laughing because I just walk around naked. All the time. I take a shower with the door open. My kids grew up like that. I've always loved that freedom. But at the firm, perky, and tight, that's the whole package deal of who you are. Just like the badass Buddha was saying. There's women who walk around with such confidence, that their beauty just shines right through them. I put a daisy on. I didn't do it because my girlfriend came over Sunday and brought me a bouquet of flowers. And I'm walking by to get something real quick. And I saw my daisy because I'm just a daisy. Confidence frightens a lot of people. And then they'll label you as being conceited and a whole bunch of other stuff. Uncertainty is...
That's funny that you said that because that's exactly what Gail just wrote. Gail said confidence can also frighten some. That's so funny.
That is, and it isn't. That's how I feel. I intimidate people everywhere I go. If Edie is still on, she'll tell you. When we're in Spain, they're meeting us as a set. Many thought we were a partnership, but they would only talk to her. Like, they'll say hi, and when we would run into them again, they'll be like, "Oh, hi, Iris," and it never bothered me because that's how I've been all my life. I've always been confident, even in my uncertainty. I've always been confident because I know who I am, what I'm capable of, and what I will and will not tolerate. It's always been how I dealt with things. Have I been fidgety sometimes? Have I worn an outfit and I got bloated or something? Yeah, you fidget. It's not that you're uncertain. Uncertainty is where the new happens. It's like we talked about. When you're not in your comfort zone, that's when shit happens for you. So if you want to win in anything in life, whether, it's your perky sets, your firmness, your tightness, that's all a state of mind. When you unfuck your thoughts, you look in that mirror, you're the most badass woman you have yet to meet out there into the world, yet to introduce into the world, because you've been hiding. When you set yourself free and you go out there and you say, I am, boom, you are accepted, wanted, greeted, whatever you want to put to it, for the woman you're presenting yourself as. Because if you want to win at anything, you got to prepare yourself to be judged, right? So whether you're firm, perky, and tight, oh my, who has the most perfect body unless they paid for it? And for those who disagree, go ahead, say it. I don't care. Who has carried children? Who has been through menopause, perimenopause? Who has been through pain and suffering with a loved one, betrayal? Omissions are betrayals to me. Who has lived a life of all of that and still has a firm ass, perky tits and a tight ass stomach? It doesn't all stay up. So when you're judged by others, that's fine. That means you're on the right track. Keep doing what you're doing. And to get to that firmness, what? Perk up your spirit. Okay? Have a firm mind on all decisions you're going to make, and keep a tight grasp on all your beliefs, your tolerances, and your boundaries. So to be firm, to be tight, to be perky, we all possess that. It's just not in the way the mind goes to as soon as it is said. Because I know I can be a perky little bitch when I want to be. Okay, and for those who know me, know I hold on tight to my boundaries, to what my beliefs are. When I speak my passions, those who don't know me want to criticize me and judge me, as I just said, by being angry, possessive, or trying to control a situation. No, I am expressing myself the way that I know how to express myself. And I'm sorry if you do not understand passion and full throttled emotion that come from a belief system deep down within me. So that is not my problem. So you will be judged, you will be criticized, and you will be loved. And it's about that percentage that's going to love you because you're firm, in what your decisions you're making. You're perky in your spirit that always wants to laugh and have a good time. Good time in sharing, in kindness, in gratitude, and holding on tight to what your beliefs and your boundaries are. Come on, we can all. Oh my. Come fuck around and find out if you want. But the bottom line is, we do possess all of that. But when I said it, when you read it, it was all about the outside facade that will deteriorate with age, with trauma, but not our spirit, not our soul. If we train, even now in our 50s, if we begin to train our thoughts to work for us and not against us, that doesn't even age. Beauty is fleeting on the outside. The skin defies us. Sometimes there's people younger than me with more sagging skin. My thing is my neck. So I'm gonna be like Diane Keaton and wear a lot of scarves going forward. So it's all about what you perceive yourself to be, what you want to be, what legacy you want to leave the women in your family. Because it got to start somewhere. And I think we're the pioneers of that. We are the matriarchs in this century, in this season, at this height of the totem pole in our family. We got to be that role model that says, I am firm, I am perky, and shit, I am tight. Oh my, come on, let's find out how. Let's find out why. And then you take it from there. And I think that us learning, we've learned, come on, tribe, even the new women that have been with us, that began with us since May of 2020. Every show for how many? I mean, the badass Buddha, I'm sure, because she's so good at this, has a number of how many shows we've had since the beginning. What happens? We've learned. We've learned how to embrace the mistakes. We've learned how to forgive ourselves for the mistakes, for the poor judgment. Okay, we've learned that in order to move forward, we do got to look back and say, oh, Margarita, I'm sorry that we had to go through that. I'm sorry that you had to come out of character in that moment in your life and wound people because you were wounded. That's me. I'm speaking about what I've done that I had to look back and forgive myself for, whether those people are in my lives right now or not. Okay? And that's being firm. That's holding myself accountable for what I've done wrong in my life, asking myself for forgiveness so that God, if I run into these people going forward, I'm going to look at them with different eyes. They might still look at me as that person, but I will look at them with kindness. And hopefully my spirit will connect with theirs and we'll be at ease with that. And to be perky is to still get up and dance down the aisle of the dollar store because my granddaughter is singing, get it, girl, get it. Get it, girl. And I'm dancing down the aisle with her. She's just having the time of her life. And that not caring who's watching. Or how she loves, I introduced her to BTS, the Korean pop thing. And now when I take her to school, she has my phone and she'll walk in saying, this is BTS. Dynamite. Come on, Wella. So I have to dance BTS with her all the way till we get to the classroom door. I love it. People are looking at me, even other parents are looking at me and they give that sly smile. I will forever be a perky person, even for myself. Even when I'm in the studio, I have the music on, but I'm dancing around the table as I'm doing stuff. We are firm. We are perky. And damn right we are tight. What do you think, Buddha?
I want to share what some of the tribe has been writing. Let's see what we have. My sister wrote, confidence does attract more attention. Absolutely. Catherine Marie says, wearing anything with a confident heart will show radiance. The inner self will always shine more. Absolutely. Gail says, confidence can also frighten some people. That's not my problem. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Gail says, I used to use the facade of confidence like a shield. When I dropped my walls, I discovered confidence is simply knowing my truth. And I got to say, Gail, that I agree with that because that's what I discovered. that the moment I walked in my truth and embraced my vulnerabilities and dealt with my challenges and then embraced parts that were really good that I refused to see. When I worked on myself and not worried about everybody else, when I worked on myself, that's when things shifted for me. People would look at me differently. They would talk to me differently. And whenever I would sneak back in, when I would fall back into that, worrying about other people, worrying about what other people think, then I would see less of it. And so finally just letting go of that was the best thing that I could have ever done. So I'm totally in agreement with what you're saying on that one. Catherine says, I feel most confident in my football team shirts or whatever, and or faith-based or motivational gear. Shine the world and starts great conversations. Absolutely. And then Catherine also wrote, forgiveness of self is huge. These are all bold things. This is what we're saying. See, it's not just about, look, if you do work out and you want to get yourself firm and tight and you are working on yourself, the body is surprisingly resilient. I mean, the skin after a while will lose elasticity, but it could go through a lot of ups and downs before it really starts to let go. And you can add supplements, you can eat better, and you can do that. So it's not saying you can't. It's just saying that, yeah, it does take a little bit longer. It's a little bit harder, but if that's what you're choosing to do and that's part of your firm, perky, and tight, then do it. If you are stepping in and saying, I just feel fantastic about myself, and you know what, I'm also going to work on the physical part of myself. Wonderful. Once again, age does not guarantee insight. It doesn't guarantee wisdom. How many times have we met people in their 70s, 80s, 90s
and they're stupid,
that are the stupidest people ever,
Yeah.
And because they just were not willing to accept themselves and shine. And what's interesting is where you tend to see most of the perky, tight, firm is, Hollywood, because that's got to be, they have to look young, but you could see the ones that have just confidently gone and stepped into their truth. They're the ones that maybe they did get plastic surgery, but they didn't go overboard. You could, they see they might have just tucked in a little bit. I mean, hey, as soon as I get the money, I'm getting the chin done. That's just because I want to. And it's just because I want to. I could care less about any of the other wrinkles on my face. So it's about those people. When you look at them, they're aging gracefully. They're happy. They're enjoying their life because they're living their truth. And it's beautiful to see, because then you see the other ones that are fighting it to the bitter end.
Yes.
Some of them not successfully, and they don't even look like themselves anymore. They look nothing like they used to. And then they walk in thinking that they look absolutely wonderful, but you could hear it in their voice. Their voices have changed. So they look like they're 25, but their voice sounds like they're 90, and they're not even 90, So it's about us stepping up and saying, you know what? I'm at this age now. Yes, I've done things in my life. There's things that I wanted to do I didn't get a chance to do. Maybe I don't want to do them anymore, but maybe there's still so much more, and I guarantee there's still so much more that you want to do. Boldly walk into it, run into it, do it, just make it happen. This is the year. We're coming in, Gladiator Group and I've been talking about this. We're coming into an election year. We have no idea what the hell is going to happen at the end of this year. And I don't think I've ever been more uncomfortable going into an election, because it is just scary on both sides. I don't want to go into a political who's better. I don't want that discussion. What I'm saying is we have to admit that we're not in a great state of being right now.
Exactly.
And we could get worse. So when is it time for you to shine? I was talking about the peacocks the other day, and they're about 4 weeks old, maybe 5 weeks old. And I think one of them's a male. And this little sucker's just strutting his stuff. I mean, he is plopping up his back feathers. He's doing his little shimmy. He's got nothing. He's just brown. Has no colors to him. He's got no big feathers, but he's stepping it. He's like practicing. And you know, when children do that, what do we often do sometimes as parents, or what do their peers do? They knock them down. They like make them dim their light. And if you've done that your whole life, if you've dimmed your light, stop. Shine it bright. Who the hell cares if there's some cobwebs there, or the light bulb needs to be changed and it's a little, it's a little discolored. Clean it up.
Yeah.
Clean up the casing around it. Shine it up. Go get a nice bright light bulb, and then shine it, because we need you. If you're here, you're something special, right? Gladiator, if you're on this show and listening to us, you're something special. But we need more of that out there, because what's out there right now are the narcissistic, entitled piece of crap people that are lies, just like Gladiator Guru told that story. They're the lies wearing the truth's clothing. And people and the vulnerable people are buying into it. So we have to step up and shine.
Because it's easy. And don't let people tell you because you're old you shouldn't be doing something.
That's right.
Don't like going back to the firm, perky, and tight. It's like what the badass Buddha was saying. You get to choose how the hell you want to live your life. If you're still in an indecisive state, saying that you never got to reach your dreams because of so and so and so and so and so and so, it's all your fault. Because the opportunity has come and gone 50 million times. And you know what they say? Opportunity is not going to keep knocking at your door. And if you're 50 plus, you're already at the halfway mark of your existence, if you're lucky. Because we keep it real here on Viva. What good lifespan, if you take care of what you eat and everything, your brain won't go as quickly as so many people with dementia at such early ages happening now. So let's say, like me, I'll be 56. I'm thinking I'm going to be a jazzy old broad into my 80s, maybe up to my 90s.
I could see it.
So
to the end, right to the end.
And so, but how many?
On her deathbed, all her family will be around her, and she's going to flash them one last time and show them.
Woo. So I have to remind you that we don't have time to waste time. Okay. When we started the show, firm, perky, and tight, oh my, it was tits, ass, and a flat stomach, because everybody thinks everybody wants a flat stomach. Let me tell you, I used to always be, it's mine. It's mine, and it's been through trauma, and it's hold on to the pain that I believe that I lied to myself to say that it wasn't so bad. And I'm working on that. And I'm working on that. And I'm working on that because I have over 40 years of shit to remove from this memory. Not this memory, but this. So I've always loved, if you've ever read my blog, I have one called Under Construction. And it talks about, and I described everything about my boobs, my hips, my thighs, because it is what I have. It is what has carried me to this day through life. I was up most of the night because my granddaughter had a flight from Charlotte, North Carolina, to Tampa last night. She was supposed to arrive before midnight. Well, they kept delaying and delaying. And as I'm getting ready for the show, she texts me that she's about to finally land in Tampa. So she was at the airport from 9-something or 8:30 yesterday all night. Now my granddaughter's 21 and a half, but she's like 5 feet tall, whatever. She looks like she's 12 or 13. So now I'm praying for the host of heaven to shield and protect. And I'm writing her, be aware of your surroundings, know who's who, strategize who's sitting where. And if you see them, if you blink and they're like a little closer, if you got to go to the bathroom, don't go until you see other people walking in. Don't go alone. Look for the nearest exits. Try to sit closer to that. And she's like, I will, Wela. Thank you. I will be aware. She's probably like, this lady driving me bananas. That's my grandbaby. She's in Charlotte, North Carolina by herself. Her flight was delayed first from 10 to 10:30 to 11, 11:15. And then as I'm on the phone with her, trying to find other flights out of there, they're like, oh, Tampa will not be leaving till 6 in the morning. And then you hear everybody screaming. So now people are upset. You don't know who had to get to where. So she texts. So I'm up all night because I'm worried. And I'm like, okay, she's going to call. She's going to call. But it was a beautiful staying up all night. You know what I mean? You're praying, you're worshiping, you're focused. I didn't want to text her too much, but I didn't really want her to fall asleep because I'm such a grandma that way. And because as the badass said, this is an election year, but every day is different from when we grew up.
Yes.
Every day the safety is just going out the window, the concerns, so you don't want to worry. You want to just make them aware. Make sure you're
right.
being, don't go into the ladies' room if there's no one in there, because you don't know who's going to follow you in there. I mean, there's just too much going on. So she texts me. She goes, I got to be at work at 10:30. So she's going to reach the airport in Tampa and then drive. Her brother must have stood with his mother in Tampa. So he was waiting for her. And she's going to drive 45 minutes to Spring Hill where they live, to then take a quick shower and go to work by 10:30 to be a bartender and a server. And I'm like, but that's the beauty of being young. But it's also the beauty of saying, this is what I want in life, so this is what I got to do. If I want to go to Fayetteville, North Carolina for a couple days, then I got to keep this job to support when I want to travel. And then I got to go do this. And she's like us, she's a canvas sneaker artist. She's a nail tech. She's a tattooist who just opened up her new studio, but she keeps a job. I think it's 3.5 years now she's been working there, but I'm still that grandma. So you don't want to waste time on worry. So what you do is you educate on being safe. And as long as you know that they're being safe and you send out a prayer out to the heavens, to your universe, whatever you want to say, then you got to be in peace. So I was in peace, but what I wasn't was sound asleep because I wanted to be aware in case my phone rang. You see, so there's a difference. So I have to hold on tight to what I believe in. I have to be firm on, if I'm telling you to be safe and to contact me, then I have to be available when you do, knowing that I had to be on Viva here. So life is not easy for us women, for us mothers, for us grandmothers. It's very challenging, but it is so beautiful. Once you know that you can be firm in your decisions, you can be perky in your spirit to make those you love around you smile, and you can hold on tight to your boundaries so that you are teaching them forward, then you're on track, mamacita. You're on track with the little jiggle here and the little rose there. You are exactly where you're supposed to be, at the top of that pyramid, bringing the others up with you. That's what women do in this world. We empower. We inspire those.
Well, that's what we must do.
Yes.
That's not what all women do, because we've created society. Once again, we've talked about this before. We've created a society that's competition, that everybody's trying to get out for the other person and get above. And how well has that worked for us? The reason our species has sustained itself for so long is because of community, of people supporting one another and helping each other. And we can go even above and beyond that, because it's not just about surviving and supporting. It's about honoring the fact that, that person has true talent. That person is amazing. That person is special. And backing them up to say, you've got this. Like, don't step behind. There's other people that are doing this that don't even have the talent that you have. And so don't second guess yourself. So, but it starts with us, because we truly cannot support other women, anybody in general, but let's say women, we truly can't support other women until we are confident in ourselves and in love with ourselves. Because when we feel confident and we don't and we are living our truth, we don't want somebody to not live their truth. We want to encourage that, because if you're a person who's living a lack or a scarcity mindset, that's because you're still working on yourself and you're refusing to deal with it. So you have to push other people down to make yourself, you know what, I've been that person before and I don't want to be that person anymore. I want everybody to lift up. And if you can't lift up, I'll give you a hand. However, I'm not going to keep putting my hand out, because if you're going to get in the way of my growth because you refuse to move, then I got to leave you back so you can learn from that. But there's plenty that will come behind me that will also encourage you. And maybe I wasn't the one to encourage you. Maybe it wasn't Gladiator Guru. But the point is that we all need to rise. I love when Bridget comes on, because I always forget this until after she writes it, but she always says great rising, right? It's great rising, right? Not grand rising.
Grand rising.
Grand rising. And I just love the fact that she always writes rising. And it's like, that's such a, no, she wrote great rising. It's such a beautiful thing, because instead of just saying good morning, which is what I do, it's you rise. It's just like Maya Angelou's I rise. And when you hear that, think of it in that terms: bold, firm, perky, tight, I rise. Grand rising, great rising, I rise. I'm here. Here I am. What are you going to do today? Today's Tuesday. Today is the second week of July. What are you going to do this month? What bold thing are you going, or things are you going to do this month? You got like 2.5 weeks to do them. And then, and we're not done yet. It's not like this is it, it's what are you going to do this month? Some people, like, I know for me, the summer months are I tend to be the most active. Like when it's a little warmer out, I push myself a little bit more, and I tend to cocoon myself a little bit in the winter. So now I have to, knowing this about myself, I have to make sure that I really do what I need to do when I'm most active, because when I cocoon, then I have to find things to do that are cocoonable, that are still allowing me to move forward, but during the cocooning phase. So that's what I've learned about myself. Instead of fighting and trying to do things that aren't going to work for me, I've learned to realize that this is how I work. And as long as I'm true to how I work and honor myself, I will be successful, not following somebody else's idea. Not that it wasn't good to hear it, because sometimes you hear something and you let it sit for a little bit. Yeah, you know what, that kind of works for me, or no, that doesn't. It's understanding self and then taking the action necessary. What do you want by the end of this year? What do you want to have? What do you want to achieve? Where do you want to go? And even if it's just planning for next year, if you say, well, I really want to go here, but it's going to take some money, it's going to take time, and I'm going to accumulate that for next year. I'm going to, hold off taking vacation so much this year so I can bank my vacation time next year. Fine. It's a plan. And
it is a plan.
And you're
it's bold enough to just take what you have and go, because tomorrow's not promised. Don't over plan. See, there's people who need a plan to work a plan to live a plan. Sometimes I say fuck the plans, because people
and they don't live.
And they plan and then they don't go because they already planned it. Just think back to The Alchemist, which I hope all of us have read, with the merchant. So I like to say, you know what? I've always been who I am. I've always been bold. I'm not as rough around the red edges as I was, say, 10 years ago. And the very people who are awakening to themselves. Now, this is one thing I don't like about a person who is not confident enough in themselves, because there's two sides to everything. Okay? There's a flip to every coin. When they have, like, I'm going to give you my people who didn't know who they were, and I saw it, and that's my passion, is when I love you and I see what you're capable of. I'll continue to work with you even when you throw me away. And I have made the conscious decision that if I tell you once and I remind you twice and I do things with you the third time to show you, so you can not only see it, hear it, but feel that awakening happening within you, and you still want to go and sit back in your corner, then I'm going to leave you there,
Yeah.
because I don't have time to waste time. I don't. Not in my life right now. But these very people that I have met along the way, and I tell you, I always go back to that movie, The Sixth Sense, because you'll have one person or call out someone else in my life doing something, not realizing they're doing the same shit. You know, I see dead people, they just don't know they're dead. And it's so I have always been who I am. I value myself. Bridget, you know it, girl. And I don't care who liked me or who was triggered or offended by what I say, because I say what I say when I say it. And if you have a question about it, then you bring it to me. And as women, I'll say, well, I said this because of this. I'm not purposely offending you. I'm not purposely throwing daggers. I save my knives for special occasions. And then they get it. That seed, it starts to push through the darkness that they've been in. And that darkness is insecurities, jealousy, intimidation towards the very person that is teaching you, that you are watching, that you are living vicariously through them, because you never felt, I could never just go on a vacation like that. I can't just pick up and go somewhere and I'll do this and that. And they're starting to live it because you shared it with them. Now they're there, I'm like proud. And then they forget. Now they're talking as though they never met me in the darkness. And I'm saying me because I'm the one talking, but if this goes to any of you. And then these are the very people that talk about growing and nurturing and loving and being appreciative and empowering other women, when they could never empowered the very circumstance that broke them out of their shell. And I think that's a very important start of a story. I once was blah, blah, blah. And then I allowed myself to open up when I encountered blah, blah, blah. And this is how I blossomed. Why? Because you telling the truth in your story will not only set you free, but you're also guiding other people that it's okay to open up and learn from the people around them that have who have risen above their darkness. So storytelling has to be true storytelling. Okay, it's not about getting somewhere and then believing this is how, oh, I was never like that, but I've learned and I've read, and I be authentically you. And you know how much I hate that word, but it's befitting for what I'm saying. Be authentic in who you are, because you don't know whose life you're going to save by giving them permission to listen to someone explaining life and how it unravels. And if they participate in it, they will grow. And that's empowering, is rolling out the truth and telling them it's going to be uncomfortable, and you're going to feel alone, and you're going to reach a plateau where everybody's going to feel like they're abandoning you. But that's your growth spurt. That's your cocoon, and only you can fit in it. And once you come out, those that are there cheering for you are your people. And that's storytelling. So if we're going to repeat what other people have done, then let's tell our story from the uncomfortable ugliness that we were, because I was rude. I came from survival skills. And if you were stupid around me, I'm going to say, you know what? I'm leaving because you're stupid and I don't have time to hear this shit. That's how I would approach people, because it was my truth, because they were stupid. But now I've learned to say, you know what? I'm going to meet you where you're at, and I'm leaving. And it's not because I'm desensitized. I don't give a shit about all this sensitivity stuff going on in the world. I'm going to always be who I am. But what I noticed is I'm not giving away my energy in my rudeness in the awakening of telling people who they are. I don't got to tell you know who you are. You know you're stupid. And let's just call it like it is. And if you want to continue to roll in the mud and then want to wear fancy clothes, and that's on you, but I'm going this way. I'm going to go order from Accessories 101, Necessities 101. Why? because we all have choices to make. I choose not to lose my energy in that way. So now I'm just going to say, have a good day, but I got to leave. And I don't take anything with me. But hopefully I left smiles enough for them to say, what am I doing? And that's my job in this world. And then you move forward. And that's when you learn. And that's when you are firm in your beliefs, perky in your laughter and spirit, and leaving true smiles towards people who you don't want to be around. But it's a genuine smile because you met someone you never want to be like. So it's a lesson. And then you're holding on tight to your beliefs that you no longer will exhaust your energies on things that do not matter to you personally. And you make your exit and you go on to the next thing on that day in your life. It's all about the choices we make and the knowledge that we have gained and the wisdom that we will share going forward. And that's it.
Beautiful. Beautiful. All right. So this
Okay.
again, this is the bold month. And we're really like, what's the word I'm looking for? With these the topics, the titles that Gladiator Group came up with this month are just, we want you to think. We want to be in your face with these titles. So we're again, the whole entire month, we're just going to be pushing you to be your bold self, step out there, and really have something that by the end of this month, we want to hear about the fantastic things that you did not even expect yourself to do.
Can I say something?
Sure.
Can you share the wonderful? Let me tell you something. I had a conversation with the badass boy. I'm not going to share anything unless she decides to share. But her peace and explaining the stuff that's going on, it was so, I don't even know how to, it was like walking through a meadow. It was just, you felt the wind dance on your cheeks. You smelt the fresh grass, and you're listening to this. And then you hear the not only the peace in which she was stating facts, but you hear the joy, the perkiness in her spirit that leads you to believe she's exactly where she's supposed to be. And the things that she is doing is so intentional that we're holding each other accountable to some intentional projects that we're working on.
Yep.
That will lead us to success in our legacy, and then into an abundance of finances.
Yes.
But my thing first is that I'm accomplishing. Listen, I created some stuff last night, and I sent a video to my granddaughter. That's how I found out where she was, because she doesn't like to bother anybody with anything. So I'm at my studio late at night, and I'm finishing up some stuff, and she just calls me and said, "I am so proud of you, woman." That's what she tells me.
Imagine your granddaughter saying that about you.
I am so proud of you, woman. I can't, and this and that and voila. And, it's just the ideas you come up with. Now, this is an artist, okay? Because people say, oh, Margie's an artist. Okay, I paint, I dabble. This girl is
Yes.
very freestyle beauty.
Unbelievable sketching.
So you send that out, and then you're at peace. Why? Because I am following the route that was set before me for me to be prosperous and abundant. And I'm not fighting against the grid. I am not questioning which path I should take. I am sitting in a knowing within my soul that I'm at this age, and I trust Yahweh to lead the way, to give me clarity in what I'm seeing and direction in my mind to make wise decisions for myself. And that's what I do, because the I am that dwells within this I am is always right and on time. And my brainwave that I have to unfuck occasionally, because then I'm like, ooh, okay, let me do this and let me do that. And I gotta sit down, breathe. You got this. And that's what I got from the badass. So when you do come together with ideas, see, life isn't about partying and having fun. You choose who's who in your life. And then you choose, where am I supposed to be? Or where do I want to be in my life right now at this age? And then you focus, because you can have both but one should not take over the other. It should be a balance of work and play. Because she played with Charlie. I hope you did something with her yesterday. And then you bring it back and you bring it back. Because, like, let me see this one you can see. Like the spiral, look up the meaning of the spiral. I love it. It's always leading you to where you need to be. But you got to be conscious and you got to participate in your life. So let's be firm, perky, and tight. And as we're walking, say, oh my, I'm the bombdiddy.com because I am doing what I need to do because I'm doing what I want to do. And there's the difference, mi gente. Want to do what you need to do to get to where you're supposed to be. Only you can do that. Set yourself free. Leave your fears and insecurities in your pocket. If you don't like what people are saying to you, but they got their shit together, it's because you don't want to do the work that is required for you to reach the next level in your life.
And that is the truth.
Right? Those people are not going to want you hanging around because that negative energy you carry is going to bother theirs. And you can't come between me and my destiny. I can help you. But if you're going to sit there and go against the grain with me because of whatever it is you're feeling, because you want to play instead of work and then play or plan, like Badass was saying, then you better find somebody else to mentor your ass because I don't have time for this. And that's my brutal honesty. Because if I can't be honest with myself that I don't want your energy around me, then what am I doing for me? We're all going to be falling down together. We're not playing that anymore. We're too old for that shit. Let's grow up and be what we're supposed to be. Go Badass.
All right. Well, we got to get going. I want.
Oh my God, we have to go.
Yeah. So I do want to say real quick though that Kathy Reese posted this thing and she was, what was it? How many months, Kathy? She's the top viewer of Viva. Viva's biggest fan.
Viva fan.
Yeah, she's Viva's biggest fan for I forgot how many months. I think it was 5 months in a row. 11 months. 11 months in a row. So Kathy, thank you so much. We really appreciate that. And I love how you posted that and shared it with us. But anyway, thanks everybody for coming on. We will see you on Thursday. And on Thursday, we're going to be talking, the title of that one is Runway Strut Slut. So stay tuned for what that's all about. And go be bold today. Enjoy your day and show your best self. From the Badass Buddha, remember, be you, be real, and be extraordinary.
And from the Gladiator Guru, mi gente, remember to breathe in the beauty and breathe out your bullshit. Namaste.